If you have shy bladder, have you ever noticed that the second you walk into a public restroom, you suddenly become aware of absolutely everything? Who's in the restroom? Which stalls are occupied? If you're a guy, who's at the urinals? Who just walked in? Who just walked out? Someone's washing their hands. The hand dryer goes off. A toilet flushes. You hear footsteps outside the door. And somehow you're aware of all of it. I know I was. For years, I could practically give you a play-by-play of what was happening in a public restroom. For me, a lot of this happened at urinals because that's where my shy bladder showed up most intensely, but it also happened in the stall. I knew where everybody was and what they were doing. And at the same time, I was monitoring myself. Am I going to be able to pee? Why haven't I started yet? Is this person going to leave soon? Is somebody else coming in? Do they notice I'm not going? How long have I been in here? It's almost comical when I look back at it now. I was basically running air traffic control in the men's room. And here's what I find so interesting about that today. The person in the restroom who doesn't have shy bladder, they're probably thinking about lunch or the meeting they just left or the text they just got or absolutely nothing. In my case, the guy standing at the urinal next to me probably wasn't thinking about me at all. He wasn't using some special technique to block everything out. He wasn't better at ignoring people than I was. He just wasn't thinking about all that stuff. And I think that's a really important distinction because for a long time, I thought the problem was everything happening around me. Someone standing next to me was a problem. Someone in the next stall could be a problem. Someone waiting was a problem. A quiet restroom was a problem. Too many people was a problem. Someone coming through the door could be a problem. But none of those things were actually creating my experience. What I was experiencing was all the thinking I had about those things in that moment. And because that thinking felt real, of course I paid attention to it. That's what we do. A thought like, what if they notice I'm not peeing? Doesn't necessarily feel like a thought when you're standing there. It feels like something that's actually happening. Suddenly, that other person matters. Where they are matters. How long they've been there matters. Whether they're leaving matters. Whether someone else is coming in the door matters. And pretty soon, I'm not just standing in a restroom anymore. I'm in the middle of this entire experience my thinking is creating in that moment. Meanwhile, the other person may not have thought about me at all, not even once. And that was a huge realization for me because it meant I didn't have to learn how to control everything around me. And I didn't have to force myself to stop noticing things. I started to see that when I wasn't caught up in all of that thinking, there simply wasn't as much to monitor. And we're already experiencing this. You can walk into a restroom one day and be incredibly aware of everybody. And then another time, maybe your mind is somewhere else and you barely notice them. Same restroom, same noises, same possibility of somebody coming in, completely different experience. So when someone with shy bladder tells me that they're hyper aware in a restroom, I completely understand it. I lived that way for decades. But what I find helpful today is seeing that the awareness itself isn't coming from the restroom. The restroom isn't telling me what to pay attention to. The people around me aren't putting thoughts into my head. It's coming directly from my own thinking in that moment. And thought changes. It's fluid. It comes and goes all by itself. You don't have to wrestle it to the ground. And the more I've seen that, the less interesting all of that restroom activity has become to me. Somebody walks in, somebody walks out, a stall door closes. For me, maybe somebody stands at the urinal next to me, the hand dryer goes off. It's just a restroom. And increasingly, I don't need to know what everybody else is doing, which is really nice. Because being the unpaid traffic controller for every public restroom you enter is exhausting. I'm Michael Hurd, the Shy Bladder Coach. Thank you for watching today's video. If you'd like more information, more resources, please visit michaelrhurd.com. That's michaelrhurd.com. Thanks for watching.